In this video, we're going to be learning how to remove skin blemishes using frequency separation. Okay, so we can use this method of skin retouching to really eliminate skin blemishes and achieve a very clean look on our skin while still maintaining textures. Okay, in the fundamental course, we learned about skin retouching also, but we learned how to remove blemishes using our tools here. That's these retouching tools. Okay, these spot removing tools, this remove tool, the healing brush tool, the patch tool, and so on and so forth. So in this video, we're going to go a step further. We're going to learn this trick called frequency separation. So just go ahead and open your folder, and let's come to the next folder, which is folder 6, advanced image retouching in Photoshop. And I want you to just bring in this image, this after workout image. So click and open. Now, what is frequency separation? Frequency separation is basically a trick for skin retouching in Photoshop, whereby we separate our image into two frequencies. Okay, we have the high frequency and we have the low frequency. Now, the high frequency contains our skin textures, like all the details you can see on your screen, or rather on your image. Those are what we contain in the high frequency, and then the low frequency contains basically our colors without our texture. Okay, so there is a good way to achieve this, but first of all, I wanted to just go ahead and clean up our image, right? So create a new layer, and now let's take our spot healing brush. You should make sure sample all layers is on so that you can work on this layer undestructively. Okay, so select the layer and make sure sample all layers is on, and then basically come and try to clean up some of these spots on her face. So just cleaning up the spots. For bigger spots like this, you could use the remove tool to just brush around. So you can either use the remove tool or you can also use the patch tool, which will do a better job. Perfect. Now let's just go back to the spot healing brush and let's work on some of these other little ones here. Click. We'll just undo this and do it again. So click once. Perfect. Click here. Perfect. So this last one, perfect. So this is our image after removing our spots. So I can just hide this layer to see our before and our after. Perfect. Let me just hide the background layer so we see what Photoshop helped us achieve, right? So these are the spots we removed. So these are the layers Photoshop just placed on our image to remove our blemishes. Perfect. So the next thing we'll do is just select all layers and then just hit this shortcut, Ctrl-Shift-Alt-E. That's Command-Shift-Option-E on the Mac. Now this will basically merge our layers and create a copy. So we have a copy of our layers here. So we can just hide these ones and keep them as a backup. Now select our layer here, and we need to create two copies of our layer. So Ctrl-J, Ctrl-J. Okay, and this one will also serve as a backup. And now we'll just name this guy the high frequency, so high freq, and this one the low frequency. Okay, perfect. Now the next thing we'll do is very important. Now we have to select our low frequency image and try to remove the textures. Okay, and the only way we can do this is by adding a blur to our image. So select your low frequency, then go to filters and blur, and now let's just add the Gaussian blur. So select the Gaussian blur, and now we can see that our blur is quite much. What we need to do is we need to bring down our blur and just add our blur at the point where we see our skin texture start to disappear. Okay, so it doesn't have to be too much. So this will be too much. So we just have to bring down our blur to the point where we see our skin textures start to disappear. So 5.6 will be perfect. But let's just say 6. So let's just hit 6 and hit enter. That's for this particular image. Okay, so now we've been able to remove our textures from this image. So there are no textures on this image. Now for our high frequency image, we have to basically extract the textures from this low frequency image onto our high frequency. Okay, so that's what we have to do. This high frequency image will not contain any colors, but it will contain only our textures. Okay, so how do we do this? We can use apply image for this also. Okay, so apply image is our go-to guy. So select your layer, your high frequency layer, and go to image and then apply image. Perfect. Now here you want to take note of some things. Now the source is of course our image, and then the layer will then have to be the low frequency image, because this is the layer we are extracting our textures from. Okay, so we have to select the low frequency image as our layer. Then the channel has to be the RGB. We can see that the settings are already in place for me because I did this previously. Okay, so these are just the settings we need. The blending mode should be subtract. Now this also depends on your image. Okay, so your image is either an 8-bit image or a 16-bit image. Now if you just come here, or here where my mouse is, just come here, you can basically see that this is 8, right? So this shows us that we are presently working with an 8-bit image. Okay, so I don't want to go into the explanation of what it means by 8-bit or 16-bit. Okay, but just know that your image is 8-bit or 16-bit. Now, of course, we are using this image, right? So this is an 8-bit image. But when you come later on and maybe you want to apply this on the 16-bit image, the settings have to be different, okay? Now, if it's a 16-bit image, you're going to see 16 here instead of 8. So for a 16-bit image, you have to kind of do some changes here. So you have to select your low frequency layer like normal, like this. And the channel also has to be the RGB channel. But then for blending mode, instead of subtract, you have to use the add blending mode. So you have to use the add blending mode, and then you have to invert. Okay, so you have to use the add blending mode, and then you have to invert. And for your scale, you have to use a scale of 2. That's for a 16-bit image. Use a scale of 2, and then for offset, you have to leave your offset as 0. So basically, this is what you use for a 16-bit image. But this is an 8-bit image, and for an 8-bit image, we have to take our blending mode to subtract. So our blending mode has to be subtract, and then our scale has to be 2, and then our offset has to be 128. Okay, 1 to 8, and we don't invert for an 8-bit image. So basically, you have to have your settings just like this, and then hit OK. Now when you hit OK, you then need to change your blending mode for your high frequency image. Now the blending mode for this is the linear light blending mode. So you have to use a linear light blending mode, and this basically brings our image back to where we started. Okay, so as you can see, now we basically have our image back to where we started. So if I just hit Alt here, and okay, let me not use this, let me use this backup instead. So hit Alt, and now we can see that our image is basically where we started. Okay, so we want to group these layers together, that's the high frequency layer and the low frequency layer. So select the both of them and group, Ctrl G. Okay, now from here on, we have to use the mixer brush to blend our skin. Okay, so we have to have the low frequency image selected, and then come and use the mixer brush. So select the mixer brush, use the mixer brush under our brushes panel. So select the mixer brush, and for the mixer brush basically works like an artist's brush. Okay, so it basically mixes paints, unlike our normal brush. So let me just explain this. So I will just hide all these layers and create a new layer here. So we can see that our normal brush basically takes a color and paints, all right? Paints. Okay, that's what our normal brush does. And if we change the color, it's just going to paint on it like this. Okay, but our mixer brush doesn't work like this. So let's select our mixer brush. Let's have blue here, right? So let's say we paint using our mixer brush, and then we change the color. So let's change the color here. So let's just observe what will happen. So now we can see that our mixer brush is basically mixing our new color to our old color. So we're having a mix between blue and magenta, right? Or purple, either of them. They just look alike. So we're having a mix between blue and this color here. So this is basically how an artist brush would work. So that's what the mixer brush does. So we want to use this mixer brush to blend our skin tone, right? So we do that on our low frequency image. Perfect. So select the low frequency image, then hit B for your mixer brush to, and you need to have your settings like this. You have to use a soft brush. For this place, you have to select clean brush. Okay, so you have to use a clean brush, not lewd brush. So clean brush, and then you have to have this option selected, that's clean the brush after every stroke. So after every stroke, Photoshop cleans the brush for us. So have this option selected, and then we want to using custom here, and we want to leave our wetness at 9% and our load at 75%, just like what I have here, and our mix at 90%. Mix 90%, load 75%, wet 90%, and our flow at 100%. Okay, so these are just the settings we need for our mixer brush. So after we get these settings, we just have to come and start painting, and now we start mixing in the direction of our skin textures, okay, or in the direction of our face contours. For a place like this, we'll mix like this, we'll mix like this, okay, we'll mix like this for this place. So basically that's what we'll do. So I'm just going to start mixing, okay. So I'll just click and start mixing my skin tones, okay. So we can already see the effects, even though the effects might be subtle, but when we just go back to see our before, we'll definitely see the changes we have made, okay. Perfect. So you can already see this part coming to life. So just keep painting, just keep mixing your skin tones. And I'm just going to reduce my brush size and paint on these little areas. In the direction of my face contours. Here also is going to paint to eliminate our eye bags, or most of our eye bags. Perfect. So guys, let me just zoom out a bit and show you the outcome. Okay, so in order to see the progress you've made, you just have to see the original, right? So we have to compare the original with the outcome. So just hold down Alt on your keyboard or Option on the Mac, and then click here. Sorry, not there. Click here. That's on this particular image, this layer 2. So right now we can see what we had initially. Okay, and I'm going to click back while holding down Alt to see the effect. So this is after the frequency separation. So before and after, before and after. Okay, we can see how we basically blended our skin tones and achieved a really smooth skin while still maintaining our textures. Okay guys, so basically that's it, and we want to just keep doing our painting on the body, okay, on the neck side. We want to do that on the neck side also. On the neck side, let me reduce my brush size on the neck side. And this works even for clothes. Perfect. So also the size of the image matters a lot. That's the resolution of the image. We can see that this image is a really low resolution image. So if we had a higher resolution image, we'll see that this effect will even look better. This image will really look better and the textures will come out a lot. And we can see that this image is really just a normal image, right? It's not a special image. There wasn't a special lighting, and we can see that it's just a normal image really. So if we had a better image, that let's say an image taken in the studio or with better cameras and better lighting, we will definitely have better results. But this result is also incredible. So this is before and this is after. And if we think we still want more, or if we're not satisfied, take the lasso tool and even add to how smooth our skin is. So just select your lasso tool, and for feather, you want to leave your feather at around 20 or 22, and you can have it here or here, but I'm just going to have it here so that I can select multiple areas. Okay, while selecting your low frequency image, just go ahead and make selections. Okay, so I'm just going to make selections on our face, on areas of our face. So just do this. If you're not satisfied with the selection, you can just undo this and create a better selection. And then, so you have to select places like this, places you're not satisfied with. So I'm just going to use these few places, where you can select more if you want, and then you can just go ahead and add a Gaussian blur, and add the Gaussian blur. So you can make the blur say 10 or 12, and the more you add it, you just keep seeing that our smoothing keeps increasing, right? So we can see that at 75 our smoothing just got too much. We want to just leave this at say 18. Okay, so 18, and hit OK. So deselect. Let's see before and after. So I'm just going to do Ctrl Z. Okay, and then Alt Ctrl Z or Shift Ctrl Z to bring it back or to redo the effect. Okay, so basically this is what we've been able to achieve with our frequency separation. So we did a pretty good job. If we had a better image, we'll definitely have better results. So that's it for this video, guys, and you can go ahead and save your file. So I'm just saving our file, Ctrl S, and let's see, we save it as frequency separation. So perfect. So that's it for this video, guys. See you in the next one. Hey, so that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. We post new videos every week covering topics in the fields of graphic design and illustration, motion graphics and video, branding, and more. If you want to support us and get access to exclusive benefits such as the project files we use in our classes, a live chat with us, shoutouts, and more, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. You can join for as little as $3 a month, and the link to our Patreon page is in the description below. And if you want to take your learning to the next level, you can check out the complete course, of which this episode is a part of. And in the complete course, you get access to more than 10 hours of video lessons, project files and resources, class exercises, a Q&A section, a certificate of completion, and more. You can get the course for a special discount by using the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.